All right, good morning, Get Wrecked for Recovery crew. So I'm here on Dixie Lake. It's at Lake Louisa State Park, and it's beautiful out here. The water is just mirror clear this morning. I've got a little bit of a ride to do today. I'm trying to make it to Weeki Wachee Springs, and it looks like I gotta go about 75 miles. I doubt that I'll make it that far, but we'll find out. You know, in Proverbs 16:9, it says that a man's heart devises his way, but the Lord directs his steps. And so I'm kind of realizing that that's exactly what's going on. I've got this idea in my mind of where I want to go and what I want to do. But then the Lord, you know, he'll change it. Just kind of like yesterday. I was expecting to go through Winter Garden and stay on the West Orange Trail. Ended up having to go down to get the phone fixed. That put me out a couple extra hours. And so I was able to make it to this part. I got to see those awesome ancient dunes yesterday. And now I've got a better ride, it looks like, going into Weeki Wachee Springs. I found a warm showers host there tonight that I'm gonna camp in his yard. So I'm excited about that, excited to meet him. And it's getting pretty hot again. So I am going to start pedaling. Got to leave this beautiful scenery behind, and hopefully I make it as far as I want to go, but I know that I'll make it exactly as far as the Lord wants me to go. Anyway, love you guys. See you later. All right, so I pulled off here in Four Corners, Florida. I got a phone call from my wife that my son was about to play his t-ball game. So I wanted to sit down and watch that, and I hadn't seen anything for miles from the point that I left the campground this morning. So I was like, okay, I was getting really exhausted. I said, you know, I'll pull over at the next place I see. Well, I look up and there's this marker for Key West. And so I started thinking, man, is this a mirage? Am I already there? Oh, that would be wonderful. But it turns out that it's the only other marker like it in the world, and it's here in Clermont, Florida, at the Showcase of Citrus, which is on orange fields. I noticed last night when I was riding that I kept smelling what I thought was like citronella candles, like mosquito repellent. And I finally realized that, you know, it must be these orange fields, and so I looked around, and lo and behold, there were orange trees everywhere. So I am right here in the really big orange growing part of Florida, and I'll show you guys a little bit of this place, this Showcase of Citrus here in Four Corners, just south of Lake Louisa State Park. Check it out. All right, so I'm here at the Showcase of Citrus here, and I ran into Rudy here, and he has a very good friend who passed away in addiction. His name was Joshua Fortney. You want to tell him about it?
Yes, Joshua Fortney was a very good friend of mine, and if he could tell you anything, it would be his stories, tales, lies, and exaggerations.
Stories, tales, lies, and exaggerations. That's kind of where it always leads us, and so we just want to make awareness that recovery options are available, that, you know, people don't have to die in their addiction. So thank you so much, Rudy, for that story.
I miss him very much, and thank you very much.
Amen. I miss all my friends that have died as well, and man, it's got to stop, and I hope that we can get something done about it. Thanks, Rudy.
Thank you.
All right, so I just stopped here at the Wawa gas station to eat some lunch and rest, get in the shade for a little bit. And that guy wrote in the air, "Get Jesus, then Jesus saves, then are you saved?" And I just sat here and realized, you know, I'm right where God wants me to be today. All the mishaps and crazy things that have happened that have slowed me down or changed my course brought me right again to where God wants me. I'm sure of that. I'm overwhelmed. I literally sat here and wept for just a little while before I could post this. Anyway, it's just beautiful. Just beautiful. Love you guys. I'll see you later. All right, so I stopped at the gas station, and like you guys just saw, this airplane was writing, and it was saying, "Get Jesus," and then "Jesus saves," and now it's starting to say, "Are you saved?" Anyway, so while I'm standing there looking up, I run into this guy. His name is Steve, and he actually has a YouTube channel. It's called 6 String Steve. Tell him about it, Steve.
Yeah, I've had my channel for several years, and it's just a variety of things. But mostly right now, it's my family. We travel full time. My wife and our 3 youngest children in our RV, and we stay at various RV parks and through a membership called Thousand Trails membership. And then also we boondock as well, like out in Arizona and areas out there where you can go out and stay on public lands. BLM land is what that's called. And we've met a lot of great friends, and just met a new friend here, Adam. Found out he has his channel, and I told him about our channels. Our family channel's Full Tiny House. You can look that up. You'll see a picture of my wife and I on there, and we'd love for you to come over and check out our videos and subscribe to us, and also my 6 String Steve channel. So I do a variety of things. I mine music. I'm a weather geek, and enjoy traveling as well. So you'll see a lot of different things on there. So, but I'm glad to have met a new friend today here. So.
All right, good to meet you, Steve.
Awesome.
Smash that subscribe button now, and then go right over to Steve's channel, 6 String Steve and Full Tiny House, and subscribe there too. Love you guys. See you later. All right, so I just stopped here on the side of the road to get under a tree because it is so hot today again. I think it's supposed to be 88 degrees Fahrenheit today. So I pulled over here. I started looking at the route that I was going to take up to Weeki Wachee Springs, and I'm still trying to make absolutely sure that I make Fort Myers on time. So I kind of recalculated my route. I'm going to go south now down to Lakeland. I'm changing Warm Showers host from a guy named James to a guy named Steve, who at the last minute was like, "Yeah, absolutely, come on." So I'm headed to his house in Lakeland now, and I'm just going to sit here and rest for a little bit. I'm just kind of reflecting that Jesus Saves air riding took a lot out of my day because I just wanted to sit there and watch it and film it, and I kind of just got a little overwhelmed sitting there. So, you know, it just took some extra time out of my day, about 2 hours. I was going to have to pedal 75 miles. Now I've only got to go 26 more. And it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so that should be plenty of time to be able to make it to Lakeland. You know, back there at the gas station, 6 String Steve and I had a conversation after we got done with our video. And he has a close family member who actually had a serious addiction and ended up going to prison. But his story is that he's out, he's doing great, and he is recovered completely. And Steve just gave the praise to God for that. So, man, that's so cool. Steve, when you watch this, I love you, brother. I'm so glad that your addiction story has a happy ending. And yeah, let's just keep on pressing toward the mark, which is what I'm about to do now on these hot Florida roads. Love you guys. See you later. All right, did I mention it's hot? So I found the General James A. Fleet State Trail, which is a railroad trail that goes 29.2 miles from north to south. It's only got 1 curve in it. The landscapes that I went through were like all natural environments, like green swamps and former citrus lands, cattle ranches, wildlife management areas. And this trails corridor is a train track, dates back to the 1920s. It's named after General James A. Van Fleet. And it is actually one of Florida's most rural trails, and it was evident by the things that I was seeing. I didn't want to stop and take too much video, just because I'm very hot, I'm very tired, and I'm trying to get to some more food. So, you know, the need for food outweighed the need to stop and film on that stretch. But there's actually a marker on the stretch that says 789, and that marker is historic. It's believed to indicate the number of miles to the Richmond, Virginia hub for the railroad line. So, from where I was, only 789 miles to Richmond, Virginia. Beautiful trail. I mean, I'm so glad that I ended up on that trail today. There wasn't any water anywhere near. There was just water here at the beginning that I found, and so it was hot. A lot of it was very shaded, though. I noticed several times where, since it's completely straight with only one curve in 29 miles, where the trees overhanging the path would form a tunnel miles out onto the horizon, probably 5 miles at a time, to the next like treeless area where sun was shining on the path, and you could see it. It was just a little pinpoint of light, the light at the end of the tunnel, no pun intended. But anyway, I'm glad I ended up on that trail. I've only got a few more 100 feet to go to get to a gas station, but I had to stop and get some water. I couldn't even make it that far. Anyway, I don't know if I mentioned it, but it's getting hot. Anyway, I love you guys. I'll see you later. Alright, so I stopped here at the gas station, and for $6 I got a monster burrito, some chips and salsa, and a large Coke. Check it out. Oh man, this burrito is way better than just refried beans, easy cheese, and hot sauce. Although, I see more of those days coming. Love you guys. See you later. Alright, so as you can see, I ended up at my warm showers host for the night. And what's amazing about this is that they're also a Airbnb. When I pulled up, they were like, alright, well, you don't look like an axe murderer, so we're headed out. I was like, okay. And so they were actually going to an AA meeting. And I was like, I'll come along. But they were running late already because I was running late from this riding today. Man, it was hot. Anyway, so tonight I get a bed. You just don't know how good it is to have a bed to sleep in after those hot days and tent nights. But anyway, I say all that to say this. They are both Christians. They go to a Methodist church here around the corner, which is awesome. And they're Airbnb hosts. And so when they mentioned that, I was like, oh wow. And he was like, yeah, but if you cycle tour, you get it for free. And so I was like, that's so cool. What a great ministry. So anyway, I can't wait to sit down and have a chat with them later on and, kind of see and hear their story. But for right now, I just got a shower. I feel great. I'm actually still sweating after my shower because it was hot today. Anyway, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad for Steve and Karen and their hospitality. I'm glad to have a bed tonight. I'm just thankful all the way around today. It was good, so good today. This whole day was filled with just good meetings and amazing things happening. Between, meeting Rudy this morning, whose friend had passed away from an opioid addiction, who I'm writing for today, as a matter of fact. And then meeting Steve, Six String Steve, there at the Wawa, while watching the Skywriter write Jesus Saves in the Sky. Man, I couldn't be in a more perfect place at a more perfect time. I have not planned any of this trip. I have an idea of where I want to go, and God directs my steps. And that's been the whole theme of today. And it's just been beautiful. It's been beautiful to just be caught up in His presence. And yeah, man, you just can't make this kind of stuff up. The other Warm Showers host at the Bicycle House, I walked in there, he's like, here's the keys, to the bicycle shop. If you need anything, just give me a call. And I was like, man, that's just almost too much hospitality, but it's not. They just love people. They love people that ride bicycles, especially. And man, it's courteous, it's hospitality in action. And until I left on this trip, I thought that was gone in the world. The TV just lies about so much. There's so many good, genuine people out here who just trust and love and leave their doors unlocked, It's not as bad as it seems. So anyway, like I said, I'm about to rest, charge this phone, charge my GPS, start cutting this video for you guys, and hopefully have a good conversation with Steve and Karen when they get back. Anyway, just in case this is the last of the video for the day, I love you guys, and I'll see you later.